Identify and select materials and tools used in SMAW or shielded metal arc welding. At the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to, number 1, demonstrate an understanding of the preparation of SMAW tools and materials. Number 2, familiarize with different SMAW tools and materials. Number 3, value the importance of knowing the different hand tools used in SMAW. Uses of hand tools. We have 4 classification of hand tools: measuring tools, cutting tools, driving tools, and holding tools. Measuring tools are the tools used to get the accurate measurement of something that needs to be measured. Now, let's proceed to the different examples of measuring tools. The first one is pull-push rule. It is a measuring tape that coils into a compact case. This flexible rule, when extended, will support itself but may also be used to measure curved, irregular surfaces. Steel tape rule blade is usually 1/2 inch wide and 72 inches long. The graduation is 16ths, except for the first 6 inches, which are graduated in 30 seconds of an inch. Next example of measuring tools is a steel tape. It is similar to a pull-push rule, except for its flexible number of feet that are marked on the tape. The tape is 3/8 inch wide and available in lengths from 25 to 100 feet. Next measuring tool is a steel rule. This is the most common tool used in tool room. It is made of tempered steel about 1/8 inch thick and 3/4 inch wide and 6 to 12 inches long. The same style may be obtained in length from 1 to 48 inches. Another measuring tool is a tri-square. It is an instrument used to measure the right angle of an object. It is very essential to help you to determine the 90 degrees of an object. Another measuring tool is a combination square. It is an instrument combined with 45 degrees, 90 degrees, and a protractor. A micrometer caliper is also an example of a measuring tool. It is a precision measuring instrument used to measure dimensions in thousandths of an inch. Another measuring tool is a vernier caliper. It is a precision measuring instrument used to measure the inside, outside diameter, as well as depth of hole and slot. Last example of measuring tool is the dividers. These are used for measuring or setting off distances and to lay out arcs and circles. Now, let's proceed to the different cutting tools. Before we proceed, let us identify first what is a cutting tool. These are the tools used to cut or separate parts from a whole. Let us proceed to the different examples of cutting tools. First is hacksaw. It is a tooth cutting tool, usually with a solid and adjustable frame. This tool is mainly used in cutting metals like plates, pipes, rods, bars, angular, and others, but of minimal thickness, width, and length. Sometimes, this tool is used for cutting plastic pipes and other materials that suit to its purpose. Another cutting tools is the files. These are made of high-grade steel which are hardened and tempered. Each file has rows of teeth that form, shape, and finish metal by removing small chips and smoothing rough edges of the metal surface. They differ in length, shape, cut, and coarseness. We have different files under cutting tools. The first kind of file is the mill file, a single cut file used for filing and finishing brass and bronze. Next example under files is the flat file. It is usually rectangular in shape and tapered slightly in width and thickness. It is one of the most commonly used files for general work. Another example of files under cutting tools is the square file. It is intended for filing square or rectangular holes. Round file. It is used primarily for enlarging holes. Half-round file. It is used for filing curved or concave surfaces. Triangular file. It is used for filing surfaces that meet at least 90 degrees. It is exclusively used for sharpening wood saws and for smoothing rectangular opening. It is also known as three-square file. Another example of cutting tools is the cold chisel, a wedge-shaped tool used to shear, cut, and chip metal. An example of cold chisel is a flat chisel. It is used for chipping flat surfaces, cutting off rivets or metal fasteners, thin sheets, and small bars, and for general purposes. Its cutting edge ranges from 13 to 25 millimeters. Another cold chisel is a cape chisel. It has a narrow edge suited for cutting narrow grooves or slots. Another cold chisel is a diamond point chisel. It has a diamond-shaped cutting edge intended to cut V-grooves. Last example of cold chisel is a round nose chisel. It has a round nose cutting edge for cutting round and semicircular grooves. Let us proceed to another type of cutting tools, which is the scraper. It is used in removing points, burrs, and sharp edges from metal surface and similar parts. This tool is made of hardened steel of various shapes that fit according to each purpose. There are bearing scrapes, flat, sharper, and tree-connected scraper. An example of a scraper is a flat scraper. It is used for the removal of the high spots on metal surface. Another example of a scraper is a sharper scraper. It is used for scraping the surface of cylindrical bearing when fitting shafts into place. Last example of a scraper is a tree-connected scraper. It is used for the removal of burrs and sharp internal edges from soft brushing and similar parts. Last type of cutting tools is the punches. These are used for permanent marking on the surface of metal. An example of a punch is a prick punch, a small center punch which is also known as a layout puncher. Each point is placed at an angle of 30 degrees. Another example of punch is a center punch. It has one end guard to a 90 degrees conical point. Let us proceed to another type of hand tools, which is the driving tools. These are the tools used to drive objects like nails and fastening objects like woods. An example of a driving tool is the ball-peen hammer. It is used for straightening, bending, and deforming metals. It has two faces. One is flat in striking cold chisels and punches. The other side, the pin, is rounded for bending and shaping metals. Ball-peen hammer generally has a wood or fiberglass handle measuring 10 to 16 inches long. Head weight ranges from 2 to 48 ounces, while a 20 ounces hammer is good for general purpose. Another example of a driving tool is the chipping hammer. It is used for removing slag on weld and with two faces, the tapered from one side and round pointed on the other side. Another example of driving tools are the wrenches. It is used for loosening and tightening light and heavy nuts and bolts. There are different kinds and sizes of wrenches designed according to uses and functions. An example of wrenches is the adjustable wrench. It has a movable jaw which makes it adjustable to various sizes of nuts. A heavy type of adjustable wrench is the monkey pipe wrench. Another kind of wrenches is the oxyacetylene wrench. It is a type of wrench used for tightening hose and fitting connection on oxyacetylene unit. Another wrench is an open-ended wrench. It is one that is made to fit one size of nut or bolt. This is the most inexpensive type of wrench that is quite efficient in ordinary situations. We have two examples of open-ended wrench. These are the single open-ended wrench and the double open-ended wrench. Another example of wrench is the closed-end wrench. It is similar to a single-ended wrench, but as it entirely encloses a nut, there is a little danger of the wrench slipping off the nut or the jaws spreading apart. We have three examples of closed-end wrench. These are the single closed-end wrench, the double closed-end wrench, and the combination wrench, which is a combination of a single-ended and a closed-end wrench. Last example of wrench is a socket wrench. It is a tool with a usually interchangeable socket to fit over a nut or bolt. Last type of driving tools is the screwdriver. It is a hand tool that is designed to turn screws. The blade is made of steel attached to one end of a wooden or plastic handle. The other end is flattened to fit slots in the heads of screws on bolts. The other kinds of screwdrivers are called a Phillips screwdriver and a helical ratchet screwdriver. Another type of hand tools are the holding tools. These are the tools used to hold objects that needs not to move during work. One of the examples of holding tools are the clamps. These are made of different sizes and appearance that are fitted to its purpose. These devices have been designed to hold work securely, which performing skills through grinding, bending, fitting, and cutting of metals. Type of clamps is a tool maker clamp. It is used for holding small parts both at the bench and at the machine. This tool is also known as a parallel clamp. Another type of clamp is a C-clamp. It is an all-purpose clamp that is generally used for all kinds of work. A drill vise is also a type of clamp. It is a sturdy steel vise with movable jaw that easily goes back or forth by raising the handle. A machinist vise is a type of clamp which is a work-holding tool for machining activity. Hand vise V-block with clamp. It is used to hold metal stocks for small machining operation. Another holding tools is the vise grip. It is a tool used to grip the stock tight enough to hold the object. A tong is also a holding tools. It is used to hold the metal to be forged and must be held securely while working. Last holding tools are the pliers. These are used for holding, cutting, and twisting wires. We have different kinds of pliers. These are the combination pliers, side cutting pliers, long nose pliers, and slip joint pliers or mechanical pliers. Let us sum it up. Let us summarize the different hand tools we discussed today. These are the measuring tools, cutting tools, driving tools, and holding tools. Under measuring tools, we have the pull-push rule, steel tape, steel rule, tri-square, combination square, micrometer caliper, vernier caliper, and the divider. Under the cutting tools, we have the hacksaw, the files like mill file, flat file, square file, round file, half round file, and the triangular file. In cold chisel under cutting tools, we have the flat chisel, cape chisel, diamond point chisel, and the round nose chisel. Under the scraper, we have the flat scraper, sharper scraper, and the three-connected scraper. While under the punches of cutting tools, we have the prick punch and the center punch. Now for the driving tools, we have the ball-peen hammer, chipping hammer, and the wrenches like adjustable wrench, oxyacetylene wrench, open-ended wrench, closed-end wrench, and the socket wrench. Another driving tool is the screwdrivers, which is an example of flat screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and the helical ratchet screwdriver. Under holding tools, we have the clamps like toolmaker clamp, C-clamp, drill vise, machinist vise, hand vise V-block with clamp, and another holding tool is the vise grip, tong, and pliers like combination pliers, side cutting pliers, long nose pliers, and the slip joint pliers or mechanical pliers. Thank you for watching and happy learning! Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for your lessons in TLE 7. Search for Ma'am Ning Mendoza. Thank you!